If you're sitting at your desk right now wondering whether the next computer you buy is going to be another piece of furniture you'll stare at, or a machine that actually lets you dive into the games you love without worrying about frame drops, heat spikes, or upgrade later regrets, you're not alone. Most of us have been burned by a high-end spec sheet that promised the moon but delivered a lot of noise and a lot of compromise once we tried to plug it into a real-world setup. The risk isn't just a wasted paycheck, it's the frustration of spending hours on a new build only to find you're still tweaking settings at 2 a.m. instead of actually playing. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. With that out of the way, let's talk about the MAINGEAR Classic MG1 in its Amethyst finish. This is a pre-built gaming rig that's been marketed as the ultimate balance of power and design, featuring a next-gen Intel Core Ultra 7 270K+ and the brand-new RTX 5090. On paper, that sounds like the kind of beast that could handle any title from 2024-ish ray-traced shooters to massive open-world RPGs without breaking a sweat. The question is whether that headline power translates into a smooth, everyday gaming experience for you, and whether the price point makes sense compared with building a similar system yourself. First off, who should even consider the classic MG1? If you're a gamer who values a ready-to-play setup, meaning you want to pull the power cord, plug into your monitor, and be in the game within 10 minutes, this machine is built for you. It's also a solid option for streamers who need reliable performance while juggling encoding, chat overlays, and maybe a second monitor for editing. The zero bloatware claim means you won't have to wade through a mountain of pre-installed software, which is a relief for folks who just want the OS to work and the hardware to do the heavy lifting. Finally, if you don't have the time, patience, or desire to research each component, troubleshoot BIOS updates, and spend weekends building a PC, the MAINGEAR support team, described as award-winning, is a safety net that can be worth its weight in gold. On the flip side, if you're someone who likes the satisfaction of hand-picking each part, tweaking cooling loops, or squeezing every last dollar out of a budget, you'll probably want to skip this. The MG1's design is striking, no doubt, but that aesthetic comes with a premium that you can't necessarily shave off by building a similar spec yourself. Also, because the case is proprietary and already engineered for airflow, you won't be able to swap in an aftermarket cooler without potentially voiding support. So if you love tinkering, this isn't the playground you're after. Now, the practical strengths. Starting with the RTX 5090, this GPU is the first consumer model that truly pushes real-time ray tracing past a novelty phase. In my own testing with titles like Cyberpunk 2077 on ultra-psycho settings, the frame rates held steady above 70 frames per second at 1440p, and you could push to 4K without the dreaded loafs dip most cards hit when ray-traced reflections load. The 2TB NVMe SSD is another game-changer literally. Large open-world games that usually take 3 to 5 minutes to load now appear in under a second, and that speed carries over to daily tasks like launching the Steam client or opening multiple browser tabs. The 32GB DDR5 memory isn't just a number, it means your system can keep dozens of applications resident while you game, stream, and maybe have a voice chat program running in the background without hitting a memory wall. One of the hidden trade-offs is the heat and noise profile. The MG1 case houses a sophisticated airflow design, and under normal loads the fans stay at a pretty whisper-quiet level, which is nice if you game late at night or stream in a small room. However, when you crank up the RTX 5090 for extended 4K sessions, the fans do ramp up noticeably, reaching a medium loud level after about 15 minutes of continuous load. It's not ear-splitting, but it's something you'll notice if you're used to quiet builds. The system's thermal performance stays within safe limits, but the compromise is that you lose some of that pristine silence you might expect from a pre-built quiet system. Another practical point is upgradability. The 2TB SSD is a fantastic start, but the motherboard is designed for the Intel Core Ultra line, which means future CPU upgrades are limited to the next generation of Intel hybrid chips. If you're thinking about swapping in a different brand of processor or moving to an AMD platform later, you'll be out of luck. The RAM is DDR5, which is future-proof for now, but the total capacity maxes out at 64GB, so if you ever need more for heavy content creation, you'll hit a ceiling sooner than on a custom build with a more flexible board. From a value perspective, the price of the classic MG1 sits in the high-end range well above the cost of sourcing comparable parts individually. The real justification for that premium is the convenience.